Okay, folks, welcome to the garage. It's a lot more picked up than other times it's been on there. You know, this area here is kind of has some things stacked up. We can't get two cars in here just yet. But we're not going to be focused on that kind of thing. We want to get some airbrushing done, and we have quite a few things that we'd like to do in the next hour or so. Things I've been putting off, and it'd be nice to go ahead and knock those things out. So, join me if you want to. Now, one of the things that's out here is this Woodland Scenics. This is the stuff that I was putting, if you watched any of my bocage that I made, these are the sprinkles for the bocage. So, this is something that is useless for my DBA stuff, but it's useful for my 20mm World War II stuff because this predates all that. So, we're going to hold on to that. It was sitting out here. And then I also have, I want to say Mitch gave me this. I don't know that I'm going to find a use for it, but we got some ones that are like brown colored, so maybe it's not from Mitch. I don't know. I've had it a while. That is what we've got. And the last airbrushing session, I had a tip that I lost, and I found it. It was right here. So I found the really small thing, but the thing that was much larger was right here. So sometimes you just have to punt and give it another shot and see it. Okay, so we're going to, so what does the airbrushing consist of today? Well, I've got several things I need to seal that have been painted previously, but are not sealed. And let's move this piece of junk out here. This is the Masters airbrush that came free, no additional cost. I cannot recommend one of those, especially if you're starting out. That'll just make you quit airbrushing. We've got some odds and ends here. We've got some things to do black. We've got some things to seal, clear coat. We're going to clear coat this stuff first, and then we will work our way around towards the other stuff. Got some interesting things here. So first things first, we're going to get our airbrush going. We want to make sure that we have the correct needle in there, which we probably have the correct needle, but not the right tip. And the reason why is because the correct one was dropped on the ground. This is the point. .35. And this should be the, no, this is the .35 needle as well. Okay, so that's the whole set there. We're going to grab the .5 needle, because we're going to do the heavy stuff. It's pretty warm in here. It's not horrible. That's why I decided to do this before I washed up. But we've got several things that we've painted that we've not given them the proper seal. All right. So going to be using is I'm just going to throw away the rest of this premium color. If there is any in there, it's not very much and it's old. So we'll break open the new one, which has already been used. And I've got a new one after this one. I've got the big one. Same stuff, the Vallejo flat primer. And all right, I know what I'm looking for. What the hell is it? I can't even imagine being more disorganized than I am. Some folks just, it would be crazy. A little bit of, make sure this is on, okay? And we're gonna jack this up to about almost 50 PSI. I like to test this with the Jesus juice. And I have a little airbrush story to tell. Airbrush stories for noobs, I should call them. Airbrush stories for noobs. Because they don't tell you some stuff that you probably should know. If I get the thinnest airbrush needle that I can get for this particular airbrush, this airbrush is great. It's an Iwata HPCS, and I got it at Hobby Lobby. I've been pretty happy with it. And I get it as small as I can. I'm like, I must be doing something wrong because I can't get really thin lines. And apparently, if you go to Iwata's site, there's different gradings of super fine, fine, medium, large, whatever. And it'll give you a category of what some of these airbrushes do. This is the one that's carried by Hobby Lobby, and it was about $150. So it's not cheap, but it's not, ridiculously expensive. This one doesn't do the superfine stuff. So there's no magic I can do to it. There's other Iwata airbrushes, and there's other airbrushes made by other companies that'll do that superfine stuff. But I think they're around about $500. So, with that said, I'm probably not going to get one of those anytime soon. What was that? Who's causing trouble over here? Inanimate objects moving on me. So we're probably not going to get that anytime soon. I'm not going to say never, but that's kind of a hefty price to pay just to get little squiggles. So I'm just going to have to hand paint the little squiggles, the little ones, if I need any. So, yeah. Okay, so we're going to have, we've got some things here like the Panther turret and things like that need to be sealed. These were never sealed. It's just a matter of, do I have something here I can put this on and take it away? This will probably work just fine. Just fine for this. All right, so we're going to seal these particular items so we don't rub off what we're doing through regular handling. This stuff's pretty thick. Pretty thick. And it also gives it a flat finish. Not that these are shiny by any stretch of the imagination. It was painted with craft paint, so that kind of helps in that department. But just because you're not doing the kind of paint jobs that other people are doing with their airbrush doesn't necessarily mean there's anything you can do about it. It might be an airbrush that's just not capable of it. You know, it's like trying to paint eyes with like a Thor-sized brush. It's just not going to happen. You can only perform so many miracles. And we're going to go through this quite a few times, refilling it. Okay, this thing is, good enough. I'll stage this over here. Really pretty light coats. Now here's the other Panther term. If you watched my video last night, the last one I did, I only did one, but it was relatively late. I think it was. Pulled out some things out of a goodie bag that I've had put away for decades. So we've got some old items that we're going to be able to refurb and use them in the future and kind of bring them up to the 21st century. All right, next up. I'm going to do something I've never done before. I hope I don't fuck it up. And that is seal something that already has tufts on it. I've never done that before. I'm going to go lightly. And hopefully I don't mess up the tufts. If not, I have more tufts. What are we doing on this stuff? We're going to need more? Okay. I think it'll be okay. I mean, it's really pretty thin. That's all we're gonna do. I don't know if it'll help hold this stuff down, but I've never had any tufts that have fallen off. Knock on wood. A couple of these bunkers, 2 of them to be exact. That's all we need to seal. So, since we still have some stuff left, go ahead and give these guys another coat. Let me make sure. There we go. Finally got back in the States, had a chance to watch Misery while I was in the Philippines. You really enjoyed it. That was good. I wouldn't call it a horror movie. I'm glad you enjoyed it. My recommendations are almost as good as yours. Your recommendations are good. Some recommendations you get from other people are terrible. Like there's a movie for years. I talked about this on an earlier program. For years that everybody recommended, oh, I can't believe you haven't seen this movie. You should go watch it. And it's a black and white movie. And I broke down a couple of weeks ago, a month ago, and finally saw it. And I'm never going to get my 2 hours back. and it's that Doctor Strangelove movie. It's just trash. Now, I understand maybe at the time, but it's like I was expecting it to be so much more, and it's horrible. It didn't even bother me that it was black and white. And I like Peter Sellers. No, not going to recommend that to anybody. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know why the text wasn't staying up. You had misery in misery in the Philippines, huh? Motorbike in the Philippines. You get to drive a moped, or just you took conventional means of travel. All right, I think let's check in here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put I have one more suggestion to watch. It was about a guy in a diner that could predict people's deaths or something like that. It wasn't the one I talked about. That's the man at the booth at the end or whatever. I've recommended that one before. You may not have listened. I think that's great. I really like those. There's a friend of mine who recommended that, and that was spot on. It's got the one I'm thinking of has Xander Berkeley. He's the guy that plays Mason in the 24 series. Always kind of plays a dickhead. Honestly, this is probably the least dickhead I've seen him. Yeah, the booth at the end, it's wonderful. I wish they would have made more of them. Yes, that's totally my thing, and it was recommended to me by somebody else, I don't know, 10 years ago, 8 years ago. I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. They don't show anything. It's like, I don't need jump scares. I don't need jump scares in my life. I already have a stressful job. Thank you. Also, we got some SDKFZ 251s. These are the C model. All three of these will be gray. All three of these will be gray. And I don't know who the hell the makers of them are. This is, I think, the Fujimi. I don't know who they are, but I want to talk about it. This is the SU one. And I don't know who the hell makes this other one. I'd say a Matchbox, but maybe this is the Matchbox. Maybe that's what it is. This is the Matchbox. This is the Fujimi, and then this is the Eshi. So the Matchbox and the Fujimi are 1/76. The Eshi is slightly larger, 1/72. Those will be gray, and I've got like 4 or 5 of the ones of the D model, which I don't like the D model. I think that the C model is a lot better. Actually, one of these is a B. The Matchbox one's a B. Yeah, the booth at the end, that's great. I would have recommended that to you if I'd known you wouldn't have watched it. I mentioned it one time on a show. I thought it was pretty cool. Done classy, Done classy. And it really makes you think. The stuff that we have to do black. Everything else is black basing things except for the SDKFZs. These are ready to have gray. I've never used the gray from MIG. Apparently a new 178-minute recut of Caligula is on the go. They have removed the explicit sex scenes and added in more footage of the main actors. Oh, did your girlfriend sit down and watch it? Did she like it? Don't make me watch Caligula again. I already watched it once. The disturbing thing about me watching Caligula is it wasn't disturbing. Oh, it was really disturbing the first time I saw it. And I was expecting it to be much worse. And I'm like, oh, is that all? I mean, it's not something I want to watch with my wife or daughter. Yikes. But the thing I forgot about it was that they had those freaks. They had the freaks with, you know, like a freaking hand coming out of his face, or a third eye, or yeah, it had like a hand coming out of his, like, you know, like, all right, now you're just grasping at straws, you know. Okay, so everything else is going to get black based except the half tracks, and I've never used this stuff before. And I don't know that I need to use it for the gray. I got this basically for the Africa colors. I don't know that I'm going to use it for the gray because then it'll look different than the other ones. Certainly we should try it, but we're going to do the black first. So I'm almost out of this stuff here. Saw a decent movie by accident on Netflix called Downsizing. Thought it was pretty good. You accidentally saw a good movie on Netflix. I thought I was going to watch regular fare of Netflix. It was going to be trash. And you know what movie I watched? I actually watched it with a daughter. It was borderline whether or not I should have been watching it or not. And we watched Waiting, the one with Ryan Reynolds in it and several. And I didn't remember anything about it. And I actually enjoyed it more than I was expecting to have enjoyed it. So, but they have a second one of those out, and well, it's been out, and it's probably trash. But I watched it originally with my wife many years ago, and there we go. So we're going to get something to hold something by. So we have a little Bren carrier. Oh, Jeffrey, you're the Bren carrier expert. Sorry, you got nominated. Oh, tell me I brought it. Tell me I brought it. I'm trying to be competent, but I'm just not able to sometimes, I guess. No, I left it. I have another Bren carrier, and I didn't know. I think you've explained to me which one it is. Let me see if I can pause this. Let me see if I can pause it. How do I freaking pause this? I don't know how to do it on the phone. No, that's share. Close. No, that's not it. I don't know that I can do it on here. I don't know that I can pause this any particular way. Okay, well, let me go inside and grab it because there is there's another Bren gun carrier, and I need you to kind of, you know, tell me what's what. This is the one that actually carries the Vickers, and I have another one, and I thought I brought it with me because it needs to be, you know, hopefully one of these is. I don't want to say you're the one that explained this to me before, but you know, I'm thick-headed / it wasn't on my radar. So I'll be right back, and we'll take a look at that. Well, it's not inside. So is it possible that I put it out here and here's this. This is the Grilla by Cromwell. I swear I'm losing my fucking mind. And it was just a couple cells a day, but I think it's sped up. I'm getting interrupted way too many times at work, and it's taken its toll on my sanity. It was here. Anyways, so the other one has like a flat part on the back. And it looks like it has space for maybe only 3 guys. And I want to say you told me that was one that was used early in the war, and eventually it was discontinued. But yeah, I don't know where the fuck it is. That was one of the things I wanted to come and base black, so we could paint a little vehicle for the Brits. I don't know where the fuck it is. Losing my mind. One cell at a time. Now it's 20. Just imagine if I'd ever done drugs. I'd be like a fucking vegetable. Let's put the dirt back. I changed my channel to Spit Bubbles with Tony. Yeah, it was here. I don't know where it was. That, and I came here just to show you how I'm going fucking crazy. And it's here somewhere. I came and I couldn't find that little tip, right? Couldn't find the tip for the 0.5. Because it's really big. I don't know how the hell I lost it, but I did. And I came in here and I was looking around. I mean, I literally glanced down and there it is. So I'm like, hey, I found it. I guess I won't have to open this one, right? Because I bought this at the store. It's lost again. And I've just been right fucking here. Like, so you know what? I'm not looking for it. Fuck it. It'll turn up. I'm still going to return this. But it operates with a 0.35 anyways. I don't know. I don't know what that little Bren gun carrier is. Do you have an answer for me? I think that's what you said. Apple Plus has another 4-hour version of Napoleon. When you get digging in the trenches of Waterloo. Oh no. Oh no. That's so boring. Just imagine if I was a Napoleonics fan. I'll have to look up and find out what kind of Bren gun carrier. And that one is just going to be base. I'm just going to hand base paint it. We're going to have a thunderstorm again. Well, we won't. We'll disconnect if we have to. So this is the Vickers carrier for him. That's really not the one I wanted. That's just the one that I ended up getting. And we have a little French vehicle here we can use for, not really French, but some Ford something or another. All right, we got the black on there. Okay, let's paint this little Bren gun thing. Hopefully this doesn't hit the ground. Actually, let's take this that way. Let's spray away from us. Yeah, work's really taking a toll on my sanity. Which I'm not going to lie to you is probably a big factor why I don't go to Mitch's. You know, I'm killing myself and I'm rushing to get to his place. He's sitting around all day without anything to do. It's like the irony was just kind of killing me. You know, so I've got a 0.5 needle with a 0.35, what is this called? Nozzle. It's working fine. It'll turn out just like it turned up the other day. Sometimes you gotta stop looking for stuff for it to turn up. All right. One base coat on the Bren on the Vickers carrier. I actually looked at the pricing for the Plastic Soldier Company stuff, Their brand carriers are too expensive, man. You only get 3. Why would you only get 3? Why would you only get 3 brand carriers? I mean, I know they got lots of options, but the things are little. Why do you only get 3 brand carriers in that set? You get the Russian trucks, you get fucking 6 of them. You know? The German trucks, I think you get 6. I think you do anyways. Okay, this MMS. MMS? No, it's not Millicast. Cromwell. I actually had this at Noble Knight. So yeah, I'm like, okay, well, what kind of an airbrush do I need to get a thinner thing? I'm like, oh, it's going to cost that much? I'm like, yeah, we'll hold off on it. I can afford to buy it, I just choose not to, you know? I'm not one of those people that buys every single thing they see. And I'm trying not to be impacted by, there's a name for it, but if you find out something's not available, go out and go crazy and buy all of it. I'm trying not to be affected by that. I have enough stuff to work on. I got enough stuff that I like to work on. There's no reason to go hog wild over something I haven't bought yet. Well, this stuff is ultra weird. Hopefully we have some paper towels. We do. And what we'll do with this is we'll try to get as much of this stuff out as we can, rinse it, and then go again. It helps jams big time because this stuff is just super, not only is it thick, but it just behaves unlike anything else. Unlike anything else that I have, it behaves rather strange. And there's no point in doing this with figures. The problem with vehicles is they have a lot of areas that are very smooth, and it's hard to get this stuff to brush on and then not brush it off when you're putting it on by brush, because it's on smooth surfaces. It just works a lot better airbrushing it. It's a carry number 2 brand, only 3 crew and more lightly armored than later carriers. Only had armor on the front and left side. Okay, did they use them in Northwest Europe in 1944? It's not a very good model. It's like a front line or something like that, but it'll be fine. Three-man crew. So one of the guys has to sit out. Okay, let's continue with this. Yeah, I don't know much about brand carriers. Never really built any. I mean, how are you supposed to know? Being nosy, I guess. But. Only reason I'm painting this is it was handy. I've still got to put the barrel in it. The barrel I can hand paint in black. Okay. topple over on me. All right. Yeah, you topple over on things that are painted. That's get these out of harm's way. So I downloaded an episode of War Games Soldiers and Strategy yesterday. I didn't know how to an episode on like late war German stuff. Episode 108. Episode 108, like yeah, like a movie. Issue 108. And I recognized in one of the pictures, like, hey, that's some of the buildings I just finished. That's some of the buildings I have finished. All right, is there anything in this smorgasbord of stuff that we want to get to right now? Gas cans. Oh, here's where the pieces are to the Sherman. Cool. I'm glad I found those. Little extra logs and stuff for the Shermans. What the hell is this? Oh, these are the extra things that go on the half tracks for the Americans. Yeah, I built my half track without them. I didn't want to get bogged down in the details. All right, we have a wall here. Okay. That's North Russia. Bunch of logs. All right, nothing. I just grabbed this and brought it out here because we're going to go back inside and work on the other stuff. I just wanted to do this while I was all alone. They made a surprising amount of them, about 100. Wow! Okay, Hoffman, thanks for stopping by. 113,000 of them? Holy smokes! You get a carrier, and you get a carrier, and you get a carrier, and you get a carrier. All right, this is it foreground that makes these? Here's the pigsty that I have. This is put together with white glue, and I'm missing a roof. I'm missing because I don't know where the hell it is. It'll turn up. So I'm not going to let that slow me down. It's only the roof that goes on the very top of this. Yeah, all this stuff is like, hey, we got to move from our house, and just chucking everything where it goes to get out of there. Yeah, so that's how this is. It's got a little pigsty, a couple little doors. Got some steps up here that come to the top. An unusual vehicle for the partisans to ambush. Let's see here. They were phased out in 41. They were also used for scouting role. Probably not used after the early desert campaign. The Germans captured lots in France. Okay. So I got to make it German, huh? I got to be one of those guys that does captured equipment. Damn it, man. Okay. So we're going to spray this little pigsty thing. Well, I can't do anything with it until it turns up. It's probably hanging out with that stupid nozzle. Bunch of assholes. Alright, we'll just have to hand paint one little section. And same thing with this. PS Studio box of carrier variants. 7 models in the box. Then which one am I looking at that only does 3? Does it do 7 variants, but you can only build 3 of them? Because that's what I was saying about the 3. Like, I want more than 3. Those had to be fun on an uneven terrain. That and Mark 6 tanks. Whoa! Off-roading. Okay. Hopefully, this doesn't cover up the detail on the bricks. If it does, oh well. It's gotta be, we gotta paint it black. Cue the music. Great, we have a jam session. 7 models that you can build up to 7 different variants. Okay, but it's only 3 of the actual models, right? 'Cause that's what I was talking about. Is there's only, maybe I was looking at it wrong. You sure? Because I would have ordered them. 7 carriers? I don't want to pay $40 for only 3 vehicles, you know? This is really not pretty dark. That way we're not putting an absurd amount of this stuff on of paint. Okay, I got a figure for that, the Cross of Iron set from FAA that has that pig pen looking guy, whatever his name was, the guy that's always dirty. He could be hanging out here in the pig pen, happier than a pig in shit. That's him, whatever his character's name was. The guy with the really bad teeth. Not like, when was the last time you brushed your teeth? It's more like, have you ever brushed your teeth? Set of 380, standard cost around 20, set of 7 cost around 37. Okay, I didn't know they made 2. Okay, well, I'd get the 7. Alright, I'll look into that. I almost picked up some Churchills. We were selling them individually from Noble Knight, and then I realized, oh, these are the 15 millimeter ones. Good thing. When something's like, oh, they're $10 a piece. Perfect. No, they're not. I don't have a use for 15 millimeter rulers. Let's not rinse it. Let's see what happens. Living life on the wild side here. I saw them, they only had the set of 3. Let there be rain. I'm all for rain, just no lightning. My foreign stepmother, well, my real mother would be foreign also, so that doesn't really scare the bejesus out of me. I won't take a shower if there's lightning. Hey, everybody's scared of something. Mine's lightning. I don't do lightning. I don't do flying roaches either. Them big ass things that we have here, that's it. Snakes, no problem. I don't want to crawl them all over me, but snakes are kind of cool. Bugs ain't cool. Especially roaches. Palmetto bugs, they call them. It is a big ass roach. Now the big ones even hiss at you. You know what's good for them? Flammenwerfer. Flammenwerfer. You guys don't have those kind of things. You don't have those. If you guys get roaches in the UK, it's because they come in for food. Here they come inside. Well, they would come in for food too, but they come inside because there's billions of them outside. And they're really interested in like decaying leaf matter, stuff like that, mulch. That kind of stuff attracts them. There just happens to be billions of them outside, and they can't help but get in. I don't have that many of them here, but my first house had a ton of them. Not the previous one, but the condo where I lived. Last time I was painting these things in the mid-90s. Hello. Well, if I get this, like I said before, if I get disconnected and you're not, and unexpectedly, it wasn't my doing, and we'll come back online. I have to put chicken shit all over the floor, don't I? To be realistic. Yeah, it's coming down. At least it's not at work. I can deal with it here. So the model, the company that I ordered those 3D printed stuff that should arrive sometime next week makes some civilian vehicles as well. Unfortunately, they only make vehicles that are like too old for this period. They made like some Model TT trucks or something like that. If any of those are running 20 years later, it'd probably be a miracle. So I didn't get them. They didn't have any 1930s or 40s vehicles. They had like these World War I style trucks. And there's another company that does make like some civilian Citroens. I think that's how you say that. Citroen. And but they don't look very good. And besides, all my other civilian vehicles are 1/64, so. Or 1/64-ish, like this one. This is a 1930s Ford of some form or another, like a gangster edition. Yeah, see, we're gonna drive by your house and blow you up, you know. I know, it's going to have wheels on it that are modern looking. Oh well. I hope you can live with yourself. There's a guy that would advertise a lot on the Facebook page for the Car Wars game, whatever it's called. Gaslands. And he's just coincidentally somewhere from Florida. He'd sell all these wheel sets for people to replace the wheels on their Matchbox cars, and they were like $16 a set or something like that. Like, it's expensive. Like for fucking wheels. You 3D print them or cast them. I don't know what the hell he did. Needless to say, I didn't buy any. Not the best vehicle, but it'll do. We can do something with that. I don't think I'm gonna paint that with any FFI shit or anything like that. We're just gonna let it roll. I'm not gonna worry about these walls at this point. I mean, we got a couple of them. I didn't get them for the walls. Wonky. wonky walls. And I'll worry about the other roof piece when I find it, which it's somewhere. It got packed away in a hurry. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is, let's look at these German half tracks and make sure there's nothing glaring that we missed. And we're going to go ahead and spray them in the Panzergrau from AK, which I've never used before. I've used AK before, I just haven't used the Panzergrau. I may not like it. And I'm just going to paint them in the base color. Gray. I'm not going to do any other highlighting because I got a little method that can add a little bit of blue to it, and I like how it looks. Even though it freaks some people out. Oh my God, the Panzer Gray wasn't that blue. I said, when I was doing Panzer Gray modeling in the 1990s and the early 90s, there was no, people didn't do like a white, a blue wash or anything like that on them. And now it's like a thing. And how I've been finishing them, I've been pretty happy with them, and it does have a little bit of a blue tint. And I just happen to like how it looks. You know, don't like them, don't do them. You know, you want to put white stars on British vehicles, go right ahead, but you won't see me do them. You know, too many people are into like controlling other people. They can go, you know, fly the proverbial kite up their ass for all I care. I don't tell other people what to do. 7 versions are 3-inch mortar, armored observation post, Vickers MG 2-inch mortar, 30 cal MG, and 2 different versions of the Wasp flamethrower. Christopher Brown said something and changed his mind. So they don't, which is the one that's the standard infantry carrier? What does it carry, like a half squad? I think it carries like a half squad. It's a carrier that doesn't carry anything. What? That might be good because if it comes with extra 50 caliber machine guns, well, there you go. That's the thing to get and not do that version. I get a bunch of extra 50 caliber machine guns. 7 of them, right? In that set. 4 crew, including the driver, right? Driver, run guy, and then 2 other folks that are just observing. What are you here for? I just want to see if you got them all. Beam counter and beam counter assistant. Just see how many beams you decided to lop their heads off. We're gonna have to do double duty with this thing. All right. Which one of these, if I don't like, am I willing to repaint? Let's do this one. Let's do ESCI half track. All right, 1939-43 early and DAK German paint set. So we're going to use gray base is what we're going to do. We're going to paint these in gray base. We're not going to use the other color because I don't want them looking different than my other Germans, and I'm pretty happy with them. So we're looking for gray base, which is what I normally would use. I would dry brush this in Vallejo German gray, I believe it's what it's called. And then give them a wash. Give them the brown wash. So we'll do this, and then we'll give them a brown wash with this, and then we will continue from here. And if I don't like how it looks, well, then I won't do it again. I tend not to do things, again, that I don't like how they turn out. Painting Panzers, welcome! Woohoo! Yeah, it's my turn to be on. It's what, morning for you. Then you can take off a little later. This is what I do. This is how I get stuff done. Now we are going to switch. Great, you showed up at the part where I don't know what the hell I'm doing because I am not a airbrush expert, never will be. But sometimes, you know, I admit what I'm not good at. I can't be good at everything. Jeez, I got to give you guys a chance of something else. I am never going to be an airbrushing to the level that I am hand painting. I just don't have that kind of control. Thank you. I just don't have that kind of control. So, did we draw blood? Are you bad luck? I know several people. I don't believe in that shit, but it's awfully coincidental. I know some people that you don't want to travel with because like bad stuff like follows them. It must have been like a, you know, a bad person in a bad life, you know, if you believe in that stuff. I don't believe stuff I can even see. All right, we're gonna put the 0.35 needle with a 0.35 nozzle and see if we can lose this nozzle too. Misplace it. Lost is like it's gone. I'm pretty anal retentive, so I can just imagine the problems other people are having. Put the Jesus juice in here. Hey, that's what the guy called it. And we'll see if we use this stuff again. I really like the MIG for airbrushing a lot. It works really well. I'm really happy with what I'm doing with my Germans. I just figured I'd try this because I have this paint. But for my Dunkelgelb, definitely use them. As a matter of fact, I'm almost out of Dunkelgelb. So that is something that we would need to do. All right. Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. Of course, I won't really know whether I like this or not because this is going to take a brown wash on top of it. So we're only going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, just a few. We got to dial this way back. I'm glad I remembered. We don't need to blow at 50 psi. We're only doing that because this stuff is thick. Maybe somewhere around 25. Okay, that's good. Lighting in here sucks all of a sudden. Just a quick coat to get it everywhere, leave some black in the crevices, and that's all we're going to do. And this might save me from having to do the dry brush of the Panzer Gray. You know, I'm going to do all three. I think it'll be just fine. And then we'll do the other methods that we do on top of that. And we're out. I only put a couple little drops. 1, 2, 3. That should be enough for 2 of them. Oh, all these are in use. Ooh, where are we going to grab this guy from? This guy is the Matchbox one. A little bit delicado in certain places. You're a Tamiya fan for airbrushing. I've never had success with MIG, but I haven't tried it in yonks. I guess that's a long time. I used to be a fan of Tamiya paint back in the 90s when I worked at a hobby store. We'd spray through a Pache airbrush. And it just behaves really weird when... It just behaves really weird for me now. This AK stuff is great. I don't like hand painting with it. I like it, and I don't have to thin it at all. That's why I like it. Sorry, I'm lazy. It's funny because I thin all my hand painted stuff all the time. But when it comes to airbrushing, I want it to go like straight out of the bottle because I don't want to be in the hot garage for very long. Now, if it was in December, yeah, keep me out here. And this one is the Fujimi one? Yeah, this is the Fujimi one. No. There we go. I've had really good luck with this stuff airbrushing it. But there's so much misinformation on the internet. You just have to experiment and try it on your own. I couldn't tell you how many posts I've seen about using Vallejo primer. Oh, you need to thin it. Oh, don't thin it with water because yeah, no shit. You got to use the Vallejo thinner. This stuff is not made, in my opinion, not made to be thinned at all. It's supposed to be out of the bottle. So you've got to use a 0.5 needle or bigger. That's what I use. I couldn't get it to work with a 0.35 until I finally found a website that said, hey, use a bigger needle. I'm like, really? Nobody's saying that. You know, because the standard airbrush needle this one comes with is a 0.35. So I went up a size and got the 0.5 and had no problems using this stuff at all. Now, that's it for the Panzer Gray. Just those 3 vehicles. The one thing I hate about German half-tracks is the numbering system. I don't mind it on tanks, but for some reason, when I get the German half-tracks, I always struggle with that, you know? You always thin, to me in fairness, never use straight from the bottle. Okay, back to work. We'll swing back some point later, I'm sure. Okay. And in case somebody asks, you were never here. What were you doing, supervisor? Assuming you have a supervisor. Everybody has a supervisor. The question is it the government or is it somebody that actually works there? I'm going to go ahead and paint the Grille. I'm going to go ahead and airbrush the Dunkelgelb on the Grille. Now the Dunkelgelb I have here is the mid-war one, not the standard one, so I don't think it really matters. We're going to be putting a wash on it anyways, not Sandgelb. Like your style. Fortunately, my management are in another state. Have fun. Okay, man. You're over there on the western part of Australia, right? You can get away with murder. Wait, that's how you Australians got out there in the first place. Oh no, it's not here. I left it inside. How stupid of me. All right, I'm going to go back and, you know what? I guess that's meant to be. I don't need to do it. Okay. I got a guy that I know pretty well from Australia. And he's always like, I said, man, people from Australia are always really nice. He's like, oh, we got our share of arseholes. I said, well, I haven't encountered any. And then I did. And then I'm like, yep, there's at least one, and it's so-and-so. He's like, yeah, that guy's a pain in the butt. Well, it's like Canadians. I went up to Canada, nicest freaking people in the world. There's bad people everywhere. I'm pretty good natured unless you want me to do something I don't want to do. Then I'm an asshole. Leave me the fuck alone, man. I don't tell you what to do. So yeah, if you want to get really thin wavy lines, you gotta buy an expensive airbrush. So I'm not ready to do that yet. I could probably get my money's worth out of it, but I just don't feel like spending that kind of money right at this moment. Sometimes you got to be happy with what you have. You know, you're always going to be chasing the proverbial thing you don't have, and you just be. God, I hate to sound like a complacent person, but you know what I'm saying. You know, some people just spend their whole time chasing something and they're never happy. And if you're going to spend a lot of money, you better make you happy. If not, why even spend it? If it's going to bring you problems, you know. Why buy a yacht and it's constant problems? Better not have a yacht. That's the reason I don't have one. Actually, the best thing about having a boat for me would be naming it. Just like the best thing about having your own country. You get to design a flag. You know, like maybe a flag that offends everybody. All right, let's get the hand sanitizer going, because it's the one thing that takes off this Vallejo primer really well. Watch my video. Oh, it works if you use the one that. Why do I keep things that are empty? My wife would say the same thing. Why do you keep things around that aren't empty? I don't know. Because I've been poor before, and I don't want to throw this tiny little bit of jack. Throw it away. I've been poor before. I think everybody should be poor at one time. I don't mean, you know, like down on your luck poor, like homeless, but it's good to be a poor student. That way you can appreciate things. Builds caricature. Okay, so that's where I don't know how to pause this. I don't know how to pause this and bring the same thing inside. Yeah, I don't know how to pause this because it's on the phone. Yeah, I'm not in. Let's see. No, that's share. What about these other buttons? Close. What's this? No, I don't want to highlight anything. I want to turn the mic off. What's this control down here? Top chat, live chat. Well, live chat's what should be on. Damn it, man. Okay, we're gonna cut this one. We're gonna nix this one. We're gonna work our way back inside, and we'll start another feed. Okay? I will be back in a few moments. And now I realize I don't know that I know how to stop this. Yeah, there we go. All right, folks. See you in a little bit.